Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is a brand new 2025 Ram 2500 Laramie, a truck so overtly massive that it's sometimes used as a descriptive term in spelling bees. All right, your word is gargantuan.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
The Ram 2500 is a gargantuan pickup truck. And that's not even the biggest pickup truck that Ram sells. Isn't that crazy?
Can you use it in a different sentence?
Well, without further ado, let's take a look at this thing. Starting out up front, for 2025, the HD series Ram trucks get a mid-cycle refresh, which includes a new front-end design with this split headlight look. Some people are split. They hate it or they love it. I think I'm somewhere in the middle, because I love and hate different trims of this truck. For example, on this particular Laramie, I think this design looks pretty good and very sleek. But on other trims, I'm not as much of a fan. I just don't think it looks as sleek as the outgoing truck, and I think it looks a little bit dorky. But here on the Laramie, you're gonna get full LED daytime running lights, LED headlights, high beams, LED fog lights. You'll have parking sensors dotting the front end, and you'll also get these two huge tow hooks, a sensor for the safety system that this is equipped with, and then right below your chrome Ram badge, you'll have a front camera for the 360-degree camera system. Moving underneath the big old hood, this Ram 2500 makes 430 horsepower and an absolutely massive 1,075 pound-feet of torque. And that engine is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Moving to the profile of the 2500, let's start by talking about the badges.
Badges?
Who's gonna know you have a Ram Cummins turbo diesel if you don't have those badges? And then you will have your 2500 heavy duty badge up here. Then moving down to the wheels and tires, you're gonna get Firestone 285 60R tires around these 20-inch wheels. And then moving up to the mirror, look, I'm not gonna lie, I think one of these mirrors probably costs more money than is currently in my bank account right now, because there is a ton of features packed in. For starters, you will have a turn signal indicator here, a camera for the 360-degree camera system, a puddle light. They are power folding mirrors. They are also power adjusting. They have blind spot monitoring. This top mirror is heated. This bottom double blind spot monitor mirror is also heated. Looks like there's another light right here. It's just like ludicrous. There's a lot of functionality built in, and I wouldn't want to accidentally clip one of these if it was parked on the side of the road, because this would be an expensive payout alone. Though if I owned one of these trucks, I don't think I would want to just park it on the side of the road. It's huge. If I go to open the door here, there is keyless entry, but there is also power deploying running boards, and believe you me, you need it here on this 2500. It's massive, and it's nice to have those incorporated in. And though this isn't really necessarily an off-road truck, it's nice that they fold back up and give you a little bit more ground clearance than traditional stationary running boards would. If I lock the truck right here, I fold the mirrors in, as I mentioned, so that is also nice. Again, just a big truck. And then you'll have your gas cap right there, your sport sticker, and then Ram spelled out on the back with your Laramie badge and your 4x4 badge. And towing is where this truck really excels. You could absolutely use it to haul things in the bed, and we'll talk about that in a second, but the towing capacity is really what I think a lot of people are going to look into purchasing one of these for. You have a camper, a huge boat, this can handle it absolutely no problem. And if you do want to get up into the bed, there is a step that deploys out right there, so that gives you easier access up into the bed here, which has a nice spray-in bed liner. I can just kick that back up. You'll have parking sensors here at the bottom of the bumper, a camera, and then opening up this tailgate here, It's nice. You get a ton of room, probably more room than most people need. You also get a household outlet right here. You have some cargo tie downs, LED lights, and it's, you know, pretty well equipped. Before we fully move to the interior, let's talk key fob really quick. In addition to lock, unlock, and panic, you're also going to get the ability to drop the tailgate. It does not raise back up here on the Laramie. Some trucks do have that ability, but it's nice to even have the feature to drop the tailgate at all. You'll also get remote start. And I love Ram's keys. They're big and bulky, just like their trucks. Hey guys, jumping in here real quick before we move to the interior, just to say I am trying to hit 40,000 subscribers before the end of this year. So if you like what you see so far, hitting the subscribe button would really help me out. But if you want to wait a little bit longer, suss me out a little bit more, see my impressions on the interior or the driving aspects of the car, that's okay too. In any case, if you decide to subscribe, thank you so much. All right, now back to the video. Moving to the interior of the 2500 Laramie, it is really nice in here. You'll get these very comfortable seats. They're heated and ventilated. You'll have a heated steering wheel here, and this includes a sunroof, which is pretty neat. But there are a ton of features in addition to those nice little luxury touches that I want to talk about. Let's start here on the door panel. This is nicely trimmed. You'll have some faux wood here, some synthetic suede, and then this is also soft touch down here to rest your arm. You'll have your window controls, and then probably the most mirror controls I have ever seen on a vehicle. And what's funny is I told you guys about all the features of these mirrors a second ago, but it actually wasn't all of the features. There's another feature I forgot to mention. I wasn't 100% sure if it had it, but it does. They are also power extending, so if you have a trailer on the back, we've talked a lot about trailering, you don't need to get additional towing mirrors. They will just extend out to become towing mirrors. So yeah, these mirrors are definitely more expensive than the amount of money I currently have in my bank account. Then you'll get your lighting controls, and next to that on the steering wheel, there is tilting, no telescoping here, so you can't move it forward or backward, but you can adjust the pedals with the button right above the tilting. The seats are also power adjusting as well. And then you'll have this neat, fully digital gauge cluster in here that's controlled from the steering wheel, and there are a lot of different menus that you can cycle through. My personal favorite is here. This is going to take a second. It will display your navigation on here, so you can plug a destination in and you can see it right in front of you. Not that plugging it in over here is bad or boring, but I think that's really cool that they give you the option to do that. But there's just a lot of stuff that you can cycle through, and I really appreciate that attention to detail. You'll have your gear limiter down here, and then your radar guided cruise control settings right here. Push button start, and you do get a column shifter. It is very sleek. I just love column shifters, and I'm glad that this truck has it. Throwing it here into reverse, on the screen you will get a 360-degree top-down display. It may be showing up sort of red. I'm not 100% sure. Some of the times that I'll go to the screen, it might show up sort of red. That's just a camera refresh rate issue. That's not actually how the screen really looks. So you'll have the top-down view. You can do a front view, a like sort of more narrow front view with the top-down. You can go just to the rear if you want, or there's also a bed camera in here that's located in the third brake light, and you can attach even more cameras if you want. So there's really a lot of compatibility here, as you can see, which I think is really, really neat. And so then, throwing this back up into park, this is the newer infotainment system that Ram has implemented, and it's really nice. You get a ton of features with this. It's very, very cool. You'll have your comfort settings. Speaking of cool, you'll have air conditioning and stuff. I don't love that some of the controls for the air conditioning are in the screen, but thankfully, most of them are on the side as physical buttons, which is very nice. I'm glad that Ram didn't completely make all their buttons digital. I'm not usually a fan of the digital buttons. But you do have the ability, you can see a lot of people have been connected to this RAM for your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto, and then you have vehicle settings. There is a mirror dimming setting, which is neat. You can go through your cameras, you can just go to your off-road pages. It's very, very slick, and you can design the home however you want it. So if you want this up here with the navigation, you can have your pitch and roll a little bit lower. It's very, very neat. And I think it's cool. You can like select which apps or different little things you want displayed. Like if you want your driver's ventilated seat displayed at the front because you're going to activate that a lot, you can do that. So you'll have some other buttons down here, gain, tow haul, parking sensors, stuff like that. Then you'll have your USB and USB-Cs as well as your auxiliary ports, 2 wireless chargers down here, and then a massive storage space with a household outlet down here. That's a 115 volt. And then you can actually slide this forward, and opening up the center console, there's even more room back here. So this kind of positions itself. You can move it to wherever you'd like. You get a coin holder in here. I happen to be using this part to hold my phone case and my Apple charger. And then you have kind of a fun diagram here on the lower part of the armrest, just showing, I guess it's a trigonometric ratio. That is embarrassing. I did not know how to pronounce that, but I'm a car reviewer, not a math guy. But thankfully, RAM includes this for the math people. Anyway, if you close this up, you can actually open the top portion for some more storage in there if you'd like. So you kind of have a split design, which is nice. Get the big RAM logo right there. And then opening up this top glove box, you'll have some storage there and much more storage underneath here in the lower glove box. And then moving up here, you will have your buttons for the sunroof. You also have a power sliding rear window that's controlled from here. And then you can drop the tailgate from here as well. So a lot of features here in the 2500 Laramie. It's very luxurious, and it has a driver's side grab handle. So count me in for that. I'm a big fan when they have driver's side grab handles. You also have a Harman and Kardon audio system. Unfortunately, I can't play any music due to copyright, but it sounds very good. And lastly, before we move to the rear, recently I've started to do this. If I get a copy of the window sticker, I'm going to show you guys the window sticker. So if you want to pause right now and look at all the details of the vehicle, you can do that if you'd be interested in this particular one. I just think that would be a little bit more helpful for some folk that are looking for maybe exactly a truck optioned like this. Anyway, let's take a look at the back seats. Moving to the rear seats, there is a decent amount of legroom back here. I'd say with the seat where I would be sitting at 5'9", I probably have about 6 inches of legroom and maybe 2 or 3 inches of headroom. If I'm being honest, I think the Ram 1500 might actually have a little bit more rear legroom and headroom than this 2500 does. I'll check and throw it up on the screen now. It's definitely a big truck, but it's maybe not as spacious in the rear seats as you might think that it would be. Now, that's not to say there isn't some cool storage options back here, which I really like. Let's say, for example, you're not taking 3 additional people in the rear seats. What you can do is you can fold up the rear seats, and it works on both sides, but I'm sitting here, so I'm not gonna move it. And then you can fold these little legs up, and then what you can do is fold it over to create a more flush load floor, and that works over here as well, and that will give you like the ability to slide plywood in much easier. It's very, very nifty. And another little detail that I caught that not many other vehicles that I've been in include is there's actually a little light right here underneath the seat. So when you're getting into the truck, that illuminates the ground underneath you, makes it a little easier to see where you're going. Now, this being such a high truck, you need the running board, the grab handle to jump up in here. That's a useful detail. And then moving to the center here, you'll get climate vents, cup holders, heated seats here for the rear, which is always a nice added benefit. And then you'll also have a household outlet back here, USBs, and it looks like perhaps on higher trims, as I mentioned, this is not the highest trim. There is spots for ventilated rear seats as well, which is pretty nifty too. This is a decent back seat. I think it has quite a lot of nice offerings for storage and seating. Let's take this thing for a spin. All right, driving the Ram 2500 Laramie heavy-duty Cummins. Because there is a gas engine available for this, so I think the distinction with the Cummins is very important. This is the beefy Kahuna, the diesel engine, the famous one. And it's pretty powerful. It's a pretty neat truck. Again, most people are probably going to be using this for towing and, you know, hauling butt down the highway. But I don't know how much this will be used, a Laramie, for example, as like a workhorse truck. This is more of the foreman truck, if anything. But it's not a bad thing. It's definitely very plush and comfortable, and it's impressive with what luxury amenities it includes. It definitely doesn't feel as luxurious as the 1500, but I think that's on purpose. You know, these trucks are often not purchased by the same group of people. It's sort of a different group of people is looking for a 2500 compared to a 1500. And so I think there's a couple more luxury amenities in those 1500s that I've noticed. And, you know, if you did want to step up a little bit higher, there is some more bells and whistles you can get on a 2500. I personally really like the two-tone color scheme. I think that's really neat. But, you know, laying on it here, it picks up real good. And the braking is also very nice here. It does definitely take quite a bit to get this thing stopped because it's such a large brick of a vehicle, but it handles nicely. For as large of a truck as it is, the visibility out of it is actually pretty decent. I've driven a lot of huge vehicles in my time doing these car reviews on YouTube, and the Rams generally have pretty good visibility. You're like way up here in the air, and you definitely feel like you're the king of the road. On these back roads that I'm driving right now, I don't know if I'd want to have a whole camper behind me because some of them are pretty tight, but it definitely works well. And I'll be honest, I have driven a good amount of the diesel trucks over the years. It's not my primary market. Generally, full-size trucks or mid-size trucks is the sweet spot, and I do a lot of SUV reviews. But with driving trucks like this, it handles well, and it's very powerful. It feels very powerful, and unfortunately this week, I'm not gonna get the chance to tow anything massive. I'm just not always able to line that up with the vehicles that I get as these press loans, but I really, really enjoyed my time with this. This definitely feels like it commands the road well, and at the end of the day, that actually might be what most people are looking for, because they know a truck this big is going to be able to haul. They know a truck this big is going to be able to do everything they need it to and then some. And so they're like, all right, well, now tell me about the luxury features, because I know it can do the work, but what do you get with the luxury? Well, that's just about going to wrap up my review of this Ram 2500. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy this video, liking the video, hitting that like button, and subscribing would help me out a ton. It not only recommends my channel more, but it also recommends this video to people who might be looking for a 2500 Laramie, or people who are just curious about what features come on a $90,000 pickup truck. Before I go, I'd like to mention that I'm a Christian, and if you have any prayer requests, I would love to be able to pray for you. You can leave those in the comment section below. And lastly, I like to close out my videos with a weekly scriptural reading. This week, I'm in the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 29. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as it fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear it. Now, when you read a verse like that, most people might think, corrupting talk, what do you mean, like cursing? Like don't curse? And in the 21st century context, that's probably how a lot of people would interpret this verse. But I think corrupting talk can be a variety of things. One of my other jobs is I work at an auto parts store, and I really enjoy that. It's fun, I get to interact with a lot of people, and I get to do other car-related things. But I had a customer in yesterday, and he's a regular, and so we were just shooting the breeze for a little while, and I noticed he had a very nice Ram 1500. It was a 2019 Bighorn. It was really clean. And so we were talking, and I originally, before I bought my Tacoma that started this channel, I was looking for a Ram 1500 and I was gonna buy a 2019, but it just didn't work out. And so I was telling him this story, and then I said, and so I bought a Tacoma. And he said, oh man, you bought a Toyota. And you know, we're going back and forth and being silly. Just about trucks, as guys do. You know, they gotta have the best truck. But then I decided, like, I'm gonna win this little funny conversation we're having. And I said, well, my Tacoma will be giving the eulogy at your Ram 1500's funeral when that thing's transmission blows. Because Rams have been known to have fairly unreliable transmissions. But as soon as I said that, he almost looked a little taken aback, and he was like, I've had that for 6 years, and I put 85,000 miles on it. I don't have any issues with it. I love my truck. And, you know, he started getting very defensive. And I realized that I had taken it up a level, right? From playful sort of teasing to almost saying, well, your truck is definitely going to break down, right? Because you bought a Ram. And I don't even believe that, right? But I sort of wanted to, like, win that conversation and like seem cool. But I realized that even though he didn't say it, I hurt that gentleman. And what I said there goes against everything I say at the end of my videos. I say, no matter what vehicle you drive, I hope it lasts you a long time and it serves you well. And I mean that when I say that, right? And in that moment, I was going against that, right? I just wanted to have the cooler truck, right? And I intend to apologize to that man when he comes back in. Eventually, I'm sure he will. By the time this video's out, this video doesn't come out for about a month, I'm sure he will have stopped in and I'll have the opportunity to apologize to him. But I think that's an example of corrupting talk. Sometimes you can tear someone down by belittling them and you don't even necessarily realize you're doing it. You're trying to just seem like the coolest person in the room. But that's not cool. We should be able to have trucks that we enjoy no matter what we have. And sure, playful teasing about who's got the coolest truck or the sharpest looking one is fine. But I was reminded yesterday that trying to win isn't everything. And I hope that I can pass that along to you guys as well, because we all make mistakes and we can all grow from them. So that concludes my video. And like I said, as I close out every time, no matter what vehicle you drive, I truly hope it lasts you a long time and it serves you well. Take care.